Neptune Jam. It's Kale here with MNTRA. We've got Dylan with us. He just got done with one of his sets earlier. Wanted to come up here and ask a couple of questions for you.
Thank you for having me, Kale. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. First of all, how was your travel up here? How's everything going?
Oh, it's been great. We drove from California, like 6 hours.
Okay.
We stopped in Phoenix, hung out with some friends, and then made our way here last night.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Your first time on the playa?
This is my first time on the playa.
Really? Okay.
It's incredible out here. The vibe, the grass, the trees.
It's a beautiful property.
Really,
yeah,
really.
Well, cool. So basically, like, what I really want to ask first and foremost is, I don't know if everybody else knows, but I found you through Boiz House years and years ago, before MNTRA went on his own side quest to do all the beautiful things that he's doing now. So I wanted to ask, what shifted your energy from being with the boys to being yourself?
It's a great question, and it's super emotional. So we're gonna kick it off. Kick it off with some tears. Let me start by saying I love Boiz House. Boiz House it's the whole reason that I exist as MNTRA right now. Boiz House, it was a happy accident. We were all friends in college and we went to music school together. We were just living together in LA and no plan of making a band, no plan of like creating a sound or anything, just hanging out. And day after day in the living room, there's just sub every day in the living room. So you can sleep, but you have to learn to sleep through sub.
Yeah, no, I love that, because there's a song that I play out all the time whenever I'm playing is "Welcome to my living room, grabbing uncrustables."
That is the epitome of what our crew is all about.
Wow, that's cool. I could feel that through that song. I was like, I feel like they broed out during all of this, so that's awesome.
It's so special in my heart. Boiz House will always be a passion project. There's 6 of us. So to travel, to eat, to get hotel rooms, all that, I mean, we were leaving every party losing money, but we didn't care, I think, and we wrote it for 8 years. We just lost money, week after week after week, we put our heart and soul into it. And I think after 8 years, we just got to the point where we're like, we explored this sound and we did our best. We're not social media marketers. We're just best friends trying to do something in our living room. I think as we got older, some of the thematic concepts, some of like what the songs were about, that it's a very happy Care Bear, let's make the world a better place project. Yeah. And that's why it's a passion project. Right. It's silly, it's dorky,
goofy.
It's so me in so many ways. And it's a piece of all of us who are part of it. As I got older, I feel like I was starting to experience the complex and really heavy emotional side of this industry. Again, we were touring and not making any money. And so many people were like, you guys are awesome. You guys are next up. But we didn't ever experience what that next up was, And as I was going through this process, I started to feel emotions that weren't just butterflies and rainbows anymore. The scene did its thing to me and all love, because I am who I am today because of it. Not everything went our way. We didn't get every gig. We didn't get to where we wanted to get to yet. And I think we're not done. Yeah. I can confidently say that we're not done.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
We're just taking a break right now to do our own thing. And this brings us to where we're at now. Like, cool. MNTRA's always been a part of who I am. Whenever we did Boiz House, I would still do MNTRA, and I did electro swing and all these other silly things that were kind of just me experimenting as a musician. Right. And because I was in Boiz House, I had the freedom and like the luxury to try whatever I want. It was like a safety net.
The world was your oyster.
Yeah, I think things really changed when I sent the track to Justin Martin in his DMs. I was at and I think all of us were at a really hard point in our careers. The question was, can we keep doing this? And I think as much as we wanted to, the honest answer was no. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
Oh my God.
Because I love playing alone, but there's no better feeling than sharing the stage with your best friends.
Especially the ones you created
Yeah,
it with.
My sole purpose with MNTRA is to hit enough people that I can actually go do this with my best friends again.
It hits, and I want to say I feel the emotion in your album. I know it took you 6 years. I saw it took 6 years for you to create such a beautiful masterpiece.
Thank you.
One of my
Thank you.
most favorite questions that I'm about to ask is, in those 6 years, like, those are 6 years of different seasons of yourself and your mind and your heart. And it's almost as if I could kind of sense, like, in each song, like, maybe where you were in your life. So I kind of wanted to talk about that album. Like, it's been the 6 years, you know, when it started. How did you start going off of from that funky, goofy to the electro swing? Because the Boiz House had that Dirty Bird niche sound, you know?
And
that's what I love.
Different. Yeah, the album is very different.
And it's like you took that Dirty Bird niche sound, but you took it with your electro swing, and you took it with your melodic, you know, every part of it. So, let's get into your album, because it's so good.
As I kind of just previously said, like, we're going through a tough time, right? And at festivals, we get asked a lot, like, how are you? It's good to see you. How are you? Hey, what's up? How are you? And every time I got asked that question, I just felt like I couldn't give the person a real answer. And unless they had 3 days to sit next to me and really get into the roots of how I'm actually doing, I don't think I ever stood a chance of being genuine in that moment, right?
Yeah.
And so the album is titled Hey, How Are You? Because at the end of all this, to me, that's how I was. You know, every emotion that I explored in those few years really was just how I was doing. And at the time I had, and I still do, like, God bless her soul, had a love interest. And she was friends with all of us, and she's the fucking best. But we were best friends, and we weren't together. We weren't in the same city. And so I got to talk about my emotions through the lens of love. And how I felt about this person allowed me to understand how I feel about myself, how I feel about all of this, right? And so each song is a different part of a journey about falling in love, right? The very first song, it's like it's an ambient track about being friends, right?
It's like a movie score.
It's like that excitement when you first find someone you might be infatuated with. You don't even know. You're not even thinking about that. You just love that this person's in your life, right? And then the album kind of goes on, and then it's like, we're waiting now to see what happens next. Now you're inside my head all the time, right? And so the story progresses. I'm not going to name every track, right? But ultimately it gets down to, and this is like a really interesting story that I don't think I've ever got to tell. The last 2 tracks on the album, there's I'm Fine and Need You. I'm Fine, the hook is all about, I'm actually cool being by myself. This relationship never actualized, right? So at the end of this whole process, it's not like we got together. I just expressed all of this, right? And so this last song was supposed to be about me finding myself, finding a home. And I had to battle that because the following song, which is actually closing the album, is Need You, which is all about needing someone else. You can't do anything alone.
By yourself, right?
So I had this artistic battle in my head. Does the story end with me just being on my own? Or does the story end with the fact that I told my story and now I actually need people around me to actually feel any of the things that matter?
Beautiful. I love that. Wow. That is, I'm so glad you got to share that last little bit.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for asking.
It's true. You have to be okay with being on your own before you can, be with other people, right? and needing those other people. You gotta need yourself before you need others. That's fucking awesome, dude. Wow. Oh my God, I got goosebumps. Oh wow, that's so beautiful. So then, yeah, I just have one more question because
Sure.
it really goes in with the album and it ties everything together, I feel like, with the story that you have. It's rare that I see artists go on their own and have illustrators do cute or cool little videos or like illustrations. And it looks like there may be characters of like you or your life or people around you, like they have to be inspired by something. So I wanted to dive in about the illustrations.
Let's do it.
So let me know about that. What's the inspiration behind that? And then we'll wrap it up after that.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to talk about this because I'm that kid who ate cereal after school and watched cartoons. I woke up on Sunday morning, turned my TV on, I was rinsing SpongeBob, Rocket Power, you name it. Like, that animated world has always been such an inspiration to me. And I went to UC Berkeley, which is conveniently 5 minutes away from Pixar Studios.
Oh, okay.
So I've always had this dream of mine, like, and I don't know if I'll ever achieve it. You know, that's what dreams are, but I love cartoons and I wanted my artist project to reflect that. So like before the album, I had a little guy. I just had someone draw the guy, right? And not just anyone. It was Dennis, my best friend in Boiz House. So that guy just kind of became the symbol for a more emotional side of me. He's kind of sad. He's sitting under a flower. And nobody really knew me as that. Everybody knows me as this happy-go-lucky festival character.
Yeah.
But nobody asked me, like, who's the guy underneath it, right?
Yeah.
The funny part about this is I used the cartoon in the end to actually show everyone who's underneath it. And so it is a character, but it's a character that's real, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And playing with that concept was fun. It was challenging. And so the movie, Hey, How Are You? It's an animated short. It comes out in a few weeks.
Yay!
It's
my God.
It's an official movie that will come out in a few weeks.
You hear that? Official movie.
And it's an animated short that tells the story of this love life, this relationship that never really went anywhere. And each scene is a representation of a song, right? And they're in order so that it together cohesively can take you through what it looks like to me to hear this album.
Yeah.
And you know, I really just hope other people who are going through their love stories and their battles, they can find a piece, even if not the whole, of their story in that story, right? And that's all art is to me. It's about the in-between,
I feel like
between the creator and the receiver, right?
Because I definitely, after listening to your album and seeing the illustrations, I'm like, I feel like I know this guy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me these beautiful questions and for having me.
Thanks for sitting with me. And June Jam, we love you. This is MNTRA. Make sure to check them out. Get ready for that movie because it's going to be.
Hey, how are you? Out now. And also shout out Justin Martin, who made all of this possible.
We love you.
Who made all of this possible. Thank you.